Hi, it's David here with Future Trading. I'd like to welcome you to the channel. If this is your first time stopping by, we're so glad that you're here. If you want, take the time to go back and look at this video. There's a ton of information in there to kind of help you out. I'll do my best to maybe touch on it, but I want to present to you some other content about the daily, some targets that's below on the daily because they want to roll over. We want to know where they're going. So I want to show you what that looks like. Sent a blast email out some months ago, well, a couple months ago, and I gave some targets and I believe that they're still there and they're relative if the market wants to decline. I want to show you what those targets are. In the last video, we'll talk about that in a moment, but the 511 subscribers. So we have 511 subscribers. I want to just touch on this really quickly and then we're going to get into the information. A lot of information I want to give you. 511 subscribers, a lot of participation there. So glad that you were able to do that. But and then of course we had quite a few of you come on board. There was 691 from 511. The participation is lacking here. So we want to get other people help. It's really important that you get that. I'm not providing prop firm links because I'm not interested in making money off of your interest of wanting to learn. All right. So I want you to learn. That's my interest. And I'm not plastering my face and giving you elaborate intros on these videos as well. I'm not trying to entice you to be a trader. I do not regurgitate information. I have my own perspective on markets. And then, of course, I give you context. So from that trend until the live candle, the market's down today, but I'm definitely going to highlight that trend for you. I want you to know how to trade complete context, how to look at the market. And then I'm giving you information that doesn't require any kind of indicators. Hit the like button right now. Show some support to the channel. Get some other people some help. People need help. Help them. Please help these people that need help. Again, I just came back in this capacity to provide you some information that can get your trading to work. I've already ran a company online. I'm not up here to try to make any money from you. I'm actually trying to inform you, and it's really important that you get that. I want to make sure that you can read a chart with no indicators. There are some updates that I did make to my suite, and I want to give you guys a chance to know what those are for those that have purchased the indicators. But for those that's new, I'm going to go over the information really briefly here. Here are the targets below the market, starting right here. Okay, so there's some targets below, and I knew these targets before they went up that they could want to turn down. And of course, when they were down, way down here and below, I told you guys that they'll get up here, and that was some while ago. But there's some targets beneath us, and it could take a little time to get there, or they may be ready to do it now. I don't know. I gave you some zones on the last video here and then here, I just put this here to save myself some time. I put this here. The high of this bar, you can look in the upper left-hand corner here. The high of this bar, should they want to stay down, this will be a problem. So the high of this bar is 190 and a quarter. So yeah, 190 and a quarter. So they won't come back past it if they want to stay down. Now, do I believe that that's the case? No, but they can go down. They can. I do suspect that it's possible. Now, I did put this zone here in the last attempt that they made to push down. Yes, I knew that this could work, and I'll show you why in just a moment. Here, I thought that they would want to do this, all right? And this is why I told you that that zone was right there, all right? That I wasn't expecting them to go past here. But now that they've made it through this high, and I told you that they should get through the high, and they did, I don't like how they were trading in here. I don't like it. That's not what you want to see. You just don't want to see this kind of activity if you're trying to go up, because oftentimes they'll do the same thing. The market always does the same. It does a lot of the same thing. That's what it does. So I was expecting that to happen. Now, can they still do that? Let's take a measurement of that and let's see if that's possible. Hit the like button. Give somebody some help if you don't mind. It's Christmas time. Some people need their trading to work, and they don't need to go into next year suffering and can't get their trading to work. So align yourself to the goal of the channel. Hit the like button right now. Try to help someone. Here we go. Maybe I don't want them past here. I want to say this to you. I don't want them past here. It's bad if they get past here. It's not to say that they can't go back up. I just don't want it. Now, here's the thing. It's two outline bars here. They had a couple of outline bars here. They leaned into them. They popped up. All right. Now look at what they do when they pass them. They accelerate. That's a problem. All right. That's a problem. You had an outline bar here. They got past this one. And they got up here and then they rotated down. They got past that one. That's fine. But then they came with this one on the bottom, and then they came with another one, and they've been up. Well, you have two here back to back, and see, and this what I don't want to happen. I don't want them to come past here. I really don't. It's not to say they can't come past here, turn around, and go back up. They absolutely can. I gave you a reference point as to where they could rotate, but they're rotating before they get here. Can they get here and still rotate? Yes, they can. But I don't like what they're doing. They closed outside the zone. Now, this is what I will tell you. The last time that they did that, and I knew it was possible, I just didn't let you know that. They closed outside the zone on this bar, and then they popped and went back to the upside. Well, they're closing outside our reference zone here. So can they turn it around and go back to the upside? I don't know. We'll see. I just want to tell you that there's a chance that yes, and I did tell you that they could accelerate straight to it in the last video, but they just didn't get all the way there. They accelerated, but they didn't make it. All right, now in the hourly, then we'll take a look at that 1 minute and kind of pick apart that as well. When it came to the hourly here, we had a blue bar on this high. They pulled up to it. They leaned over. And they couldn't get, back up. They just couldn't get back up. They pulled right up to it, to the back of it, I believe. Let's see if they broke the back of it on this one. High again. Look to the upper left hand corner here. I'm gonna hover the mouse over the bar. 241.50. Let's see what we got here. 243. So yeah, they actually broke it, which was good. And I thought that just maybe, but no, they dove down, and then that's when they pushed up again. They didn't get through that high. They didn't want to do that. So, and of course, they came down and they made another blue outline bar here. Okay. They reached up into it and then they declined. You had a blue outline bar here. Let's get the high here. 87, 875 and a quarter. Let's get the high here. 67. Let's go back here. High 75. High 67. All right, so they didn't break this blue bar. When they rotated into it, they dropped. And so now we got another blue bar here. What stalled them out, there was a blue bar here. So that kind of stalled them out. They didn't want to get past it at first, but then they eventually broke it. They definitely accelerated right through this one. They're in this one right now, and they're trying to lift up, but this is a wall, people. All right, we have consecutive blue bars here. This can pose a problem for them not to get back up. Let's get the high of this bar. So the high of this bar is 818.50. Let's go over here on this. We're just gonna get the threshold here, and I'll talk about that in a moment. So the threshold here, let's go 732, 732 to some degree. So again, the high of this 818. So that definitely is in there. So 732 somewhere in there, somewhere right about here. So right here, right in this area here, they can, long as they do not close above 732. They shouldn't do it on Sunday, Monday. Hopefully they won't. They just turn around and go in a decline again if they're going to stay down. Now, if they're going to go back up, hopefully they just turn around right here and just begin to move themselves back up. We'll take a look at that in a moment on a 1 minute to see what that looks like. All right. So, but that's what you have on the hourly and the daily if you're someone that likes to swing trade markets. And I'm just going to give you some information there. Now, let's flip the scenario. Let's do this. Let's kind of turn this around because the market always like to do the same thing. So let's see. And let's say they want to do that. Okay, that kind of makes sense if they want to do that. But if not, let's say the market just crash and want to go down. I gave you an extreme here, not 98, 42, 50, if they wanted to be extreme. But I don't think that's the case. I hope not. So let's see if they can do that. But they do have a target. They honestly, they do. They have one back here. And when this bar closed, I knew that was a target. They leaned over. They just couldn't get it. They ran right into that blue bar and they just didn't want to get it. And at that point, when they turned, I said, okay, maybe not now. And again, I sent that information out in an email some time ago. That's still relative. Now, if they're going to stay down, I want to tell you this, they're not going to come back past this bar. There's a good chance they won't make it past this bar. So to have this bar here is 190 and a quarter. I want to go ahead and say that to you. Now, when it comes to, let's look at Friday before the decline, and then let's talk about that low since we're already right here. Let's talk about that low. There's a couple updates that I did. I want to tell you guys about. The bar color I do not have listed up here. And it's a reason why, and I'm going to tell you in just a moment. But there's a bar color here. No sooner the bar closed, the bar turns blue or whatever color you prefer. Whatever color you prefer, make it whatever color you want. But the bar color is not listed. If you have the indicator suite, I want to tell you this. It's above your climax bar color. So look at the indicators above your climax bar color. And it's in the list right above the climax bar color. Just look in there. The reason why I'm telling you this, because I sent, of course, the information out of informing you guys that I made some additional updates. And absolutely no one, well, not no one. There was Well, there was a couple of you that actually said thank you, but the mass majority of you didn't even take the time to acknowledge the fact that I was there. It's not the proper etiquette. So it wouldn't make sense to be so selfish to have me to respond to you when you want to know something, but you can't even say thank you. That's not the appropriate behavior. So what I want to go ahead and encourage you to do, because I don't want to have to go and answer a bunch of emails at this point. Okay. So all you have to do is just look in your list. If you see the climax bar color, look above it. Okay. Just look above it. And this bar color will be located in there. Now, there's a couple other indicators I did put up here for you to reference, and that's that FPG zone. I know a lot of you like that information, so I made, well, this is an additional one because there's another one I made in that list that was already there, but this is an additional one that I made. And then, of course, this is what I talked about in that video here, and I'll touch on it again on the manipulation. Now, there's some rules right here for you. And again, we'll talk about this. All right. So we'll talk about that because I want you to learn how to read the chart with nothing on it. But this is what you're looking at. So that turn that they just made on this hourly, we're going to talk about this right now. When they made that turn, there's a vertical zone that's on there. Okay, there's a vertical zone. I'll show you what the vertical zone look like. That's the supply and demand zone. And then of course there's your FVG. Everybody's online love the FVG, so I make them. I don't care for that information because it's late. And I'm gonna tell you why in just a moment. Here we go. So we get the zone. This is what creates the FVG right here. You get the gap between. If you don't know, I'm gonna tell it to you right there. You got a gap between this bar here, this bar is low and this bar is high. Okay, and then there's this big gap in this candle. Well, it's late. You don't need this candle right here to know that that zone is going to show up. I'm going to tell you how you can know it's going to show up. It's this. It's really simple. I've been doing it for a very, very long time. I'm old. Okay, so I've been doing this for a minute. The mid of this bar. Okay, we're just looking for majority. It's important that you find it. If it gets above that high, that's important. And so there's a very, very good chance, I have you notice, that there's a zone that's going to show up in the next bar. It is. So you can trade that however you want. You don't have to wait until this third bar show up in order to get that to work. You don't have to do that. That's late. I don't want you to trade entries that's late. So you don't need that. This is the no touch, no close bar pattern. And so when that mid gets above the high of the bar, this bar will turn green if you have my indicator, or you can put a level, or you can put the volume. There's so many functions. It'll even give you the target as to how far the market should travel to hit the target once that bar turns green. It'll give you a target. There's an indicator in there for that. Or you can go with the downside activity here. If you're trying to go down, it will be this. So now if you get this bar's activity, and while it's live, a live bar, while it's moving up and down, you can take the trade. If you get that live bar to drop beneath the mid of it, the mid of the bar, if you can get that live bar, the mid of it, okay, to fall beneath that low, well, the bar turned red. There's your stop. This is your stop. It should go down. Now, for those that, again, got the update link, if you got the update link and you utilize that link, you will have this bar color. And if you don't have the bar color, please use the link that I sent. Just you click on that link right now. Stop the video, go click on that link, download it, upload it to your platform right now. And you would absolutely have this bar color. I'm gonna leave the mystery there for you to find out what bar color it is. All you have to do is look above the climax bar color. Okay, look above that. It's in the indicator list above that. You'll see a bar color up there. And it's not the standard bar color. That's for there's a bar color up there, just a regular one. That's for your volumetric chart. Because I know some, when you get the volumetric chart, it doesn't have the boxes outlined for your color. So I made one for that. But it's another color. Okay, it has some information before and it says bar color. I want you to just go and just do a little work, go up there and take a look, and you'll find it. But this vertical zone, okay, I just told you about that fair value gap zone, the FVG that's there, okay. Well, I made a supply and demand zone that to me is just, it's a little bit better in my opinion, just my opinion. It still can work. I'll show you both. So it's a vertical zone. They dove into it. It only requires 2 bars, not 3. The fair value gap requires 3. This only requires 2. All right. They dove into it, they turned around, and they went to the upside. So that's what that hourly turn actually looks like. Right. So that's what it looks like currently. Right. So that's what you're dealing with. Now, when it comes to the fair value gap zone, you have one here. Now, I will always tell you this. All right, put your stop behind the third bar, okay? Because again, I'm telling you, it's this pattern. It's this pattern when the mid get above that bar's high. Put your stop here. You can trade that zone if you want and see if it'll turn from it. It's totally up to you, but I want to tell you it's important that you put your stop at the bottom of the zone. All right, so bottom of the zone is right here. So that fair value gap zone, the bottom of the zone here, your stop needs to go here. It's really just that simple. Now, there's the manipulation, and I went over this in the last video. We're trying to get a bar here, and I'm not going to hold you long. Just want to show you guys the updated version of some of the tools. This is just roughly three of them here that I want to go over. There's others. Trust me, there's others. I put well over 50 indicators in this indicator list for $200. That's all you would have to pay if you want it. You don't need it. I'm showing you how to trade without it. But if you want it, it's there. So it's well over 50 indicators. I don't want you to go spend $300-$400 or even $1,000 trying to get one indicator. I'm gonna give you well over $200, and you can learn well over 50 indicators for $200, and you can learn using the indicators. See, that's the most important part. See, other vendors, they'll provide, and I'm not a vendor, I'm an educator. So when I make the tools, I'm trying to provide you education. When I make the tools, I want you to learn what makes them plot. Don't just let them plot and then want to take the trade. You're totally missing what this is supposed to be about. I'm trying to help you as a trader. I want to make sure that I take interest in your education. Please put the tools on your chart and let them plot and begin to just use a little bit of deduction, and begin to sort out what it is that caused it to turn that color, or plot that signal, or plot that zone. Try to just use a little bit of information. That's all. All right. And for whatever signal you're using, try to go for the distance of that signal. That's another thing I want to tell you. So let me say this to you right here. If you see this 3-bar pattern show up, okay, or even that too, what I want you to do is I want you to go for that distance. All right. So try not to, of course, go for nothing less than what you're owed. Try not to go for nothing less than that. All right. So try to go for the distance of the signal. It just makes more sense. That's all. All right. So the little square that you're seeing on the bottom and the top of the bars, okay, when the bar finishes, then you get 4 little candles that have to show up, and bodies. And the reason why I say little, because the body's got to fit inside of this one. All right. So this bar right here, you want to see if you can get 4 of the candles. And I'm trying to get you to understand cycles and when the phase is there. Okay. So when this bar finished, this green one right here finishes, that signal will pop up here and say, hey, man, this is a problem because they actually are sitting here this long. Now, I want to tell you that this bar color will color the bar as soon as the bar closes. All right. As soon as the bar closes, that bar color will kick in. That could be an opportunity for it to go down. That can be an opportunity for it to go down. That can be an opportunity for it to go up. That's an opportunity for it to go up. This is an opportunity for it to go up. It came in here, but they pushed right past it. So this can be an opportunity for it to go up. This can be an opportunity for it to go down. They went above and then they took off. Opportunity for it to go down. Opportunity for it to go up. So no soon that bar turns, as soon as the bar turn color. No soon, as soon. That bar turns color. I want you to know something. It can go that way. It can. It can. You got to put it in context. All right. You just got to put it in context. Now there's some information that I'm leaving out with all the indicators that I code. There's education that I provide as an educator. I'm not going to tell you how to trade this stuff. I'm just giving you indications. There's an indication that is telling you something. See, can you figure out what it is that it's telling you? So when it comes to maybe they're exiting, maybe they're exiting, maybe they're picking it up. Okay, so when you see this information, again, this is all in this 1 hour turn. I'm trying to provide you some information. Make sure you use it. All right, so now count the bars. Remember, a trend is 7 bars. I want to tell you that. So that's 1, that's 2, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, and there's 7. All right, so we got 7 bars here off of that hourly. I'm trying to break down that hourly turn for you. You don't need a lot of time frames. If you can't make sense of one time frame, it's best that you do not make trading any more confusing and just use the one you have, and don't go and multiply the confusion. Try to just keep one time frame in front of you until you acclimate yourself to the process. And then once you get a complete understanding of how this works, then yeah, go and get you another time frame and see can you maximize your profits. All right. So I believe that was seven. So we got one, two, three, four, five, six, and that's seven. So yes, I'm right. So here we go. So they're almost there, possibly, and we'll look at 9:30 real quick and see what that did and the news and all that good stuff. All right. So they about halfway there. Now let's take a look at this down because they came in on this high. Let's do that as well. So we got one, two, three. That's four, five, six, seven. Now, when they make the trend, I went over this before, but if you're new, I want to tell this to you so you'll know. Once they make the trend, they have the ability to rotate. There's a tendency about this stuff that it does the same thing over and over and over again. So I don't want you to be taken off guard. Again, hit the like button. I'm trying to help you. Share the information with as many as you possibly can because someone needs the help. It's really important that you get that. I want to help people. All right. So all right, so they could, if they don't want to go up, and what we would do is we would do this. You take the center of the uptrend, okay, and you project that forward. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at it like this. Let's see, can we take the center of this uptrend, and let's take the center of the downtrend, and just take a look at what it is that they possibly would want to do at this point. All right, so what is it that they want to do? Can they lift up higher? Yes, they can, if they want to. Okay. We're listening to the market. We're just listening to the market. All right. So now they were trapping here. Okay. So they were trapping here. And I don't want to skip anything. Let's count these two. One, two, three, four, five. That's just six. They turned around. All right. So then they made a new high. One, two, three. Okay. This is three, four, five, six. That's seven. They rotated. All right. So if they're going to rotate, again, we're going to kind of throw this in here. See if they'll stay beneath here. Don't want to skip anything because we don't know that that was going to happen. If you were just looking at this and counting the bars, you would have seen, a trend. You would have seen a trend down. Let's do it like this. Matter of fact, let's do it like this. You would have seen this trend down and you would have assumed, assumptions are okay. That's not a bad thing. You would assume that, yeah, they may want to go back down. Maybe, maybe. Now, I'm going to give you a fuller view of this chart in just a moment so you can kind of get a better understanding as to it was possible for them to reach up just a little bit higher. But yeah, so they pulled into that. You kind of saw them here. They're reaching above and they're not wanting to go back down. Uh, and they were trapping in here. So it's okay to assume that they were, trying to get it down because they tried to lift it up. It didn't work. But then they did this. They, came in here and they didn't want to, go down. They turned around and popped up. Okay, so that's what you got. So are we going to do the same? You saw them come in here on this bottom again as soon as this bar closed. The moment that this bar closed, you can see if they'll go that way. Okay, it has to align with what makes sense. All right, just want to tell you that. At seven, when they get to the seventh bar, typically they come into it. They do. I have you know that. Now they're right here at the center of your trend. They are. See, they're right here. So that kind of makes sense. All right. So now when you're looking at this hourly, because I know they're in the back of that zone, I'll blow this up for you one more time. They're sitting in the back of this bar, that blue bar. Okay. Now I do suspect that if they're going to move down, they probably won't get past here. You probably get stuck in here overnight, Sunday and Monday morning or whatever, and then they'll probably move it down again. I'm not certain, but that could be the case. All right. We don't really want them past here, but that could happen. Now, that's your hourly. That's how it looks. All right. So that's how it looks. And so you have to gauge what that is. Now, when it comes to the four bars on the inside, all right. So when it comes to the four bars on the inside, it shows up in some very interesting places. All right. So it could be possibly stalling you out and then take off again, or it could actually be reversing down. And then, of course, they can come in again. There's your four, and then it could be back on its way. It came in again. It could be back on its way. So that's something to think about. Now, let me give you a fuller view. Again, I just gave you For those that are of course new, I just told you about the trend. I told you about the price action method to know how that gap will eventually plot. You don't need the third bar. That's late. So I'm slowing it down for you so you can read the chart. But for those that need indicators, if you're interested and you're in the market, I have tons of tools for you. Again, stuff that you need to learn from. For those who have already purchased the suite, these are the latest updates. You will want to go with the supply and demand zone, okay? The consecutive supply and demand zone and that fair value gap zone. You'll want to go ahead and use that information there if you would like to. Again, have your stop behind the third bar of that gap. Do not put your stop up here. If you want to do that, it's totally up to you. You see them coming into this high, okay? They could be wanting to go back down maybe. They got down there this low. You see they tried to pick it up, but that, only yielded them back into this high, and then they came in again and they moved it back down. So that can be different. Now let's take a look at that low compared to the other times that they tried to pop up. All right, so now this low got kind of a lot of bells and whistles on it, just with the three indicators that's here. Now, again, I have other indicators you can plot on this chart that will probably emphasize a little bit more information down into this low. But you had that color bar. Notice when the bar closed, the bar turns blue. You had the fair value gap zone, the supply and demand zone. All of that just popped in on this turn. It wasn't on that one. Of course, you got to get the new low. It wasn't on this one, and it wasn't on that one. Okay. It didn't come in here, although you did get, this happening. You got that happening here, even here. Okay, they went outside their low, but they put the four and they tried to move it up. If your trends are failing, now this is what I will say. You look like you got about seven in here. Sometimes they'll put the trend inside of a trend. All right, so I just want to say that to you. Look like whenever they come with them little teeny bars, I can almost bet you that it's seven there. That's why I did that. Now here they put the trend inside of the trend, but again, if it's failing, I believe that's seven too. It looks definitely like seven here. If your seven is failing, be about right. Let's go about right there. If your seven is failing, all right, you got to again use what's provided. If it's failing, okay, you got the blue bars lighting up as it's coming into this bottom. You see them trying here, if you want to call that an attempt, try to get past these maybe, and they didn't, and they broke that low. If your trend is failing, why do this again? Try not to mess with that direction, if you will. But this is different. This is some information that is providing that wasn't on these turns. Okay, it wasn't on these turns. And if you don't want to go with that, I suggest you maybe wait until they're in here and then they break past it. Okay, so on this turn here, they came in up here, but they didn't go past it. They came in. I believe this is a blue bar too. Let's open this up and take a peek. No, that's not a blue bar. But they came in here and they're not going back past it. Okay, so if you want to know which turn should you take, maybe this one. You see them coming in, they're trying to force it down, and then they came in down here on this bottom. Okay, and then they turned around and they got back above this high. So that can indicate to you that they're turning. That's all. That is turning. Again, I did my best to try to put the information in a way that you can possibly understand it. Off this high, let's just take a look at it before it broke down. Let's go before the news. Let's do that. Let's do before the news because the news was there. All right. So first they had this decline here. Now, okay. So we had the kind of the same thing that's on that bottom here. Let's do this. We had both zones. So we had the fair value gap zone. We had the supply and demand zone all in this area here. Now, remember, I told you that you need to put your stop. Let's do this. You need to put your stop on the third bar of the fair value gap zone. You need to put your stop here. Now, it only takes two bars to make the supply and demand zone. That's the vertical one. All right. Now, typically, you want to go with the distance of the vertical zone as well as the uh the fair value gap zone. And as you can see, they made it. But they ran the vertical one, they went past, and then they gave you another one. This is to me a bit excessive, and plus they're just on the way to here. Okay, so you just let them go ahead and make that one. All right, then they pulled up there, and then of course they eventually broke through it. Now, when you look at this turn on the bottom, all right, now we're just talking about these three tools. There's tons of them that I've made to make trading easier for you if you know how to use them. That's the only caveat. You got to know how to use the tools. I'm giving you information on the channel that's worth more than 200 bucks for free. All right, for free. All right, please hit the like button. Show someone else that you're, of course, you're learning this material and that you're finding it useful. Give them a chance to learn with you. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5, 6. You got 6, and then there's 7. So you got 7 here. Try to go for the distance. For those that just want to learn how to read price, here you go. I'm gonna make sure I slow it down for you because that's what the channel is all about. Again, I do not want you here and you can't learn to read the market. I want to make sure you can read it. It's very simple. All right. So here we go. We don't have real time today. Given the participation, if it's there, I may come back and make you another one in real time soon. If not, then again, take as much of this information as you possibly can and utilize it to your advantage. It's really important that you do that. So when we go with the center of the trend, hopefully they can turn around. Hopefully, and then we'll look at 9:30. All right. So I just wanted to get it before the news, so we're not kind of looking at it in a vacuum. All right. So we're going to try to apply everything that I'm telling you in hindsight. I hate to do it. Almost all the videos on the channel are in real time, but this is something I wanted to put the tools up here. So for those that purchase the tools, you can kind of see the updates and see how it works. All right. So now there's loads of information in all of this. All right. But we're going to try to unpack just a little bit of it at a time. So now remember we had our zone here. All right. And we have our trend and we had our zone. All right. So we're going to put our zone back there, kind of make this red. All right, I want you to see what you got. It's really simple. If you have the suite, and if not, please use that link that I sent over. And for those that want the suite, all you have to do is ask for the invoice when you contact me. I want to definitely stress to you, I'm not trying to answer a lot of questions. All right, this is not a Q&A. I'm not providing that kind of experience for 200 bucks. The goal of the channel is to get you information is that there's no questions that need to be asked. It's very simple to understand. When it comes to the indicators, there's a lot that's going behind me trying to create them. So I can't give you, all the experience of question and answering. That takes away from me being able to train people. So I don't want to do that. All right. It's 200 bucks. All right. 200 bucks. And it's really simple. Follow the tools. Follow the tools. And there's so many tools in the indicator list that can provide you a $200 trade a day. Very simple. So you're not losing anything. Even with the information on the channel, is well over $200. It's thousands of dollars worth of information just on the channel for free. So please don't contact me wanting me to explain all these indicators. I can't do it. This is a follow the plot process. So you put them on your chart, plot it, allow yourself to follow it, permit yourself to do so. Follow the information. That's all you have to do. It's really simple. All right. So the colored bars come in. There's your trend. You got your trend locked in up here. You had a couple colored bars in this. If they're not going to turn it back around, that's fine. And then, of course, they reached up higher. They came in on this high as soon as this bar closed. The moment that this bar closed, it turns blue. The moment that this bar closed, it turns blue here too. Now, if they're not going down and they're headed back up here, maybe they'll stay up. Maybe. If you don't believe it, let them test the center of your trend. You see them coming back into this low. They're making another trend down. Okay, so let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's 7. So they made 7 red bars closing lower. All right. So they have to be closing higher or lower. We do not want any bars that's in between. We need them to close higher or lower. Really important that I state that to you. So this is how we're finding the trend. We're listening to the market and we're going to follow it. That's all. We're going to follow the market and see what it says. If it's going to go down, great. And if it's not, it may want to go back up. So that's putting you here, and they made it. So you saw the trend to the upside get formed and they rotated. And then you see the trend from the downside form and they rotated. So if they're rotating back into the center of this trend, okay, I want to say this to you. It's really simple, really simple. Don't make trading hard. Don't. If you want the tools, ask for the invoice. It's really simple. So when you get here, the moment that this bar closes, it turns blue. I believe they ticked under it. Yeah, they did. They ticked under it. But then they popped up, came in on this high, and they ticked above that too. And then they dropped. They picking it up here, and they're not breaking past the bars low. All right, so maybe you'll go up. So you try it again. To get back up here to this high, they're not ready to do it. They're still at the center. Okay, let's kind of just project this forward. Okay, they're kind of at the center still, give or take, give or take. All right, so there you go. They're still there. Now, this time when it came to the center and clipped that low, they got rid of that right into our information here. They came in again on this blue bar. So that bar is blue. As soon as that bar closed, maybe they're ready to go back up if they're going to knock out this downtrend. They're coming in, they're not dropping it. They're coming in, leaning back. Yeah. But then they come in here and they're not breaking down beneath this bar. Maybe, maybe, just possibly to the upside. Okay. So now the news. Let's take a look at that. So you had your trend, they're back at it. So they're back up. The news came down and they ran right into our FEG. So I put that in there for you. There it is. It's right there. But remember, you want your stop here. You want your stop here, not here. Now you can buy it from there if you want, and it would have took you up to the upside. Sure, you could have done that. Put your stop behind that zone and go with that one. You can, but I want you to have your stop here. It just makes a little bit more sense. They popped up. Now, when you look at this high, because they made a high and they didn't want to go further. Let's look back here at this high. All right, so let's look at this high here. Just a little bit of help. That's all you need. Just a little bit of help. I want to provide it for you in the information that's on the channel, which is free, and tools. So if you need some tools, I got those as well. All right. So now let's look at this high again. Look in the upper left hand corner here. You have the H, which is the high. When I hover the mouse over the bar, you're going to see the price on it. All right. So the high is 875 and a quarter. Let's go up here. 875 and a quarter. So they kissed that bar to the tick. All right. Now we're not exactly certain. If you want to just be 100% certain, wait till they make a trend maybe. And once they make the trend, of course, we know what's over there now. But if once they make the trend, see what this does. If they can get back through the high, fantastic. If they're shoulder breaking that, okay, that could be a problem. All right. That could be a problem. Now, once that is formed, let's just take a look over here and see what happened when it came to that decline on Friday. Let's just take a look. They rallied up. They got near our zone, but they didn't break it. All right. So I'm going to compress the chart. And again, when the bar closes, these are the updates that I made. These are three of them. It's the bar color and then these two, but there's a lot more updates I made. They're in the list. You'll just have to take a look. But I did want to show you just three indicators you could have used on Friday to get an idea of what price would have been doing. All right. So if you want to look higher, we can look higher if you want, up at this high. If you want to look higher, I'm gonna let you see that. So they're coming into this high. You're getting the zone. Now here's the manipulation. This is that video that I put out on. It was a couple of days, 2 weeks ago. All right, and this is, kind of how you look at it. Now, again, there's another indicator in that indicator list that goes with the manipulation setup. All right, there's another indicator that I provide with the suite that goes with that square. It plots in relation to that square. Okay, I just want to say that to you, and it would kind of just give you an idea of what's possible. So you're getting several of them up here as they're coming into this high. This bar, okay, as soon as the bar closes, it turns blue. Are we going back up? Don't break below the bar. Let's go back up. Well, it didn't do that. You had another blue bar. You had another one. Now they're accelerating. They're back to back. That's a problem. They're back to back. That's a problem. Then you had this one here. Let's go up. Well, they didn't want to do that. They dropped. And then they came into this low, broke through this low, and then they turned the corner. And then that's when they begin to make this information here. So if you wanted to, just know what was back there, I just showed you. All right. So now when we take a look at Friday, let's examine that decline. All right. So now when you look at the news, because they hit that spike. Okay. So they hit the spike. You had some blue bars into this high, and then they, had that blue bar, but that's not getting it back up. Okay. See, this one is not getting it back. They're actually trading, back on that side of it. So that can be a problem. Had a blue bar here. They're back below it. Had a blue bar here. Are we going up? Yeah, I mean, I see you're coming right back into this gap here. I see that. Okay. Now, when they got here, let's get the low of this bar. Look in the upper corner here. We're going to get the L, the low. So now we're looking at the low here, 826, low 826.75. So they came within 3 ticks of it. Okay, 26, 26.75, and they popped up. Fantastic. Go back up. The unfortunate side of it is this: is that you had your trend. So now we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there's 7. So now you got 7 to the downside. Remember, everything that I'm telling you, you want to make sure that you apply it straight away. Just look at the chart. Don't make it. Please don't make this stuff confusing, people. Please don't. Please don't do that. It can be easy if you allow it to be. That's all. If you allow it to be, it can be easy. Don't make this stuff hard. That's the whole goal, is to make sure that it's simple. So if they made the trend, you get your news coming in. They supposed to go this far, and they made it before the news. All right, so before the news, they actually made it, which is a good thing. You kind of want to get them there, hopefully to stay down and not go back up. Okay. Well, the news kind of offered you both. It went down and then it came back up, and but the problem is when they got up here, they didn't want to keep going. All right, so they got up here, they didn't want to get through the high. We had the blue bars in that decline. Okay, we had the blue bars in the decline. It didn't want to keep going. Well, now what we got? Okay, so they get down here in this bottom. They're giving you your signals, but they're kind of doing that, kind of doing that. All right, so now we get one here, and they're not going past that. Well, let's see what we got. We got a blue bar coming in. They're breaking below it. And you had a blue bar here that they did not want to get back past. Maybe, I know they had this, and it didn't want to give us that distance. They didn't want to go down first. Well, I believe the news did shoot them down first, but then they came back up. Needless to say, they went past it. That's fine. Did they go past the trend? No. They turned around and they commenced to doing this. Okay. Well, we just looked at, what that was here. That was back here. You're getting your blue bar. And now you're getting acceleration after they break through the bottom. You're getting several blue bars back to back. All right. And again, you want to have your stop. There's a zone there. Okay. So you want to have your stop behind this bar. But the moment that that blue bar closes, you can take the short. The moment that this blue bar closes, you can take the short. The moment that this blue bar closes, you can take the short. They wouldn't have broke neither. So there's 3 blue bars here. Okay, so if you didn't catch this one, that's fine. One of these maybe catch a trade. Now, of course, this one didn't work, and that's sometimes going to happen. This one didn't work. Okay, wait till they get back below it, maybe. And then, of course, there's your zone. There's your supply and demand zone with your gap. So you got both. You got your supply and demand zone with your gap. This takes 2 bars. Okay. This takes 3. All right. So this one takes that one too. Well, they didn't get back past it. Okay. And they came in up here on this high. They gave you the 4. And then that signal comes in and say, hey, this is a problem possibly. Then you had another acceleration. Okay, all 4 of these bars, the moment that the bar closed, take the trade. The moment that the bar closed, take the trade. The moment that the bar closed, take the trade. The moment the bar closed, take the trade. They wouldn't have broke either. Then, of course, there's another fair value gap zone. Again, these are the indicators that I put it inside the indicator suite. Then here, this is yet another blue bar, another blue. They're accelerating. All right, and they got above this one. That's fine. They didn't break these 2. And you got the zone. And you got all 3 of those. Stop can go here or behind that zone. Either one, you can try either one, see if it'll work. Blue bars, they didn't break them. Now the blue bar came in, they didn't want to hold it. They're back beneath it. That's a problem. All right. And then of course you got the blue bar into this low. They popped up. Are we going to stay up? They came right back under there. Okay, they came under here, and then they did this. They gave you those 4 bodies inside of there. They went up, but then they turned around and they tried to lift it again. If they're not going to stay up, because when they break that blue bar, see if they'll hold this turn. They didn't. They broke down. They came in this low, and then that's when they held that blue bar, and then they went up a bit. But then, of course, here they come back again. blue bar back into your trend, blue bar back into your trend, and they made that blue bar and went under it. Yeah, came back in on the low. If you're going to pop up, then let's go. Don't come back past here. They're accelerating back into this low. Okay. Now, again, you got your zone for this one here, and the zone for this one, your stop would have to be here. Okay, so you had kind of like two stop placements there. They kind of pulled up to this one. This is a stop right here, and they pulled up to that one. Then they dropped again. Again, when the blue bar comes in, is either break the low and let's keep going, or get above it, let's go up. It's really just that simple. And then of course here's your blue bar here. You had a blue bar come in here, but they broke that low. Let's see what they'll do. They came in up here on this high and they dropped again, and now we're here. All right, so this is the information that we had on Friday in relation to the hourly and your daily. All right, so if you have the indicator suite, the two things that's here that I want you to go grab is your FVG and your supply and demand zone. If you do not see those indicators in your indicator list, I need you to use the link that I provided. Download it right now and go put it on your chart. Makes it a lot simpler. If you're new, I actually provide you templates. So I give you a workspace and a template that will have this stuff already on it. All right, so you don't have to worry about you know, putting it all together. I put it all on a chart for you, and you can just kind of build it from there. And it's a reference template. So take away, add, do whatever you would like to the template. You can do whatever you want to it, but I just try to give you a reference point. So on next week, this is what we're doing. All right. Now, clearly you can see that there are signals here that come in and then they kind of flip. You had a signal here, they flipped. You had a signal here, they kind of stalled out just a bit. You had a signal here, they flipped. They had a signal here, they flipped. This was interesting because the moment that this bar closed outside that zone, I knew it could do that. Okay, so you had your signal here and they kept going. That's fantastic. You had your signal here, they kept going. That's fantastic. We need them to stay up if they're going to stay up. You got a signal here and they're not slowing down. They're picking up speed. They kind of did that here, but I knew it was a chance that they'll flip. Now, could this lead to that too? Could it? I don't know, but we'll have to see. I will tell you if they plan on staying down, it's here. And here are some prices that you can begin to look for if this market is planning to drop. If it's planning to drop, you got 18 right into this turn, and it's going to break it. If it's going to drop, it's coming down here to 18 and below. Okay, so I wish you all the best with your trading. Again, if you are interested in the indicator suite, it is $200. It is a follow the plot process. Tons of indicators in there for you to utilize and use, of course, with a level of discretion. So you have to, do a little bit of work. You have to put them on the chart, begin to look at them, evaluate whether or not, it fits whatever it is that you're already doing. If you're someone new and you know nothing about trading, I encourage you to get the no touch, no close bar color on the chart with the increase indicator. So there's an IN that is put on the bars, and that's based off the majority principle as well. So if you're new, go back and watch this video here. Let me go to the channel. Go back here and watch this video. I believe, yes, I have the increase indicator on this chart. I have the no touch, no close indicator on this chart. Go back and watch this video. I'll have the link to this video below. Okay, so you can go back and take a look if you're new. I want you to go and start there. And again, if you're interested in the suite, just ask for the invoice. That's all you have to do. Just email me, say, hey, I'm interested in that suite. Provide me the invoice, and I will have the invoice along with sound files. You'll get sound files, you'll get templates, you'll get reference sheets. I got some reference sheets for you. I'm trying to give away tons of information, stuff that you've never seen online, stuff you've never seen online. And I wish it was all there for me when I first started trading many years ago. So I want to, again, just offer you an opportunity. That's all this is. Take advantage of it. It may seem too good to be true. And in some regard, yes, it is, because I've had a YouTube channel and all that, and I deleted it. Okay, I got rid of it. When I took my company offline, I took the channel offline as well, the YouTube channel and all the social platforms. I got it all. I got all of it, got rid of it. So I'm gonna leave this up here for a bit, let you guys utilize the information for now. At some point, I may delete this channel too. I may. So go ahead and utilize this information to your advantage. Try to take as much of it in as you possibly can. If you want your trading to work, I'm here to get that happening. All right. I want to make sure it happens for you. And again, I'm not going to send you into the mouth of the lion with some prop firm. I'm trying to give you some information. So if you do decide to go that way, they cannot train you to blow out, because that's what that is all about. All right. So I wish you all the best with your trading. Hit the like button. Take care.